Hello and welcome to a very rainy Mumbai. Monsoon season is well underway here in India, but fortunately we are inside at the Sugimoto Exhibition Centre for this morning's semi-finals. Before we bring you the action though, here's how qualifiers yesterday went down. For the second year running, the IFSC Bouldering athletes have made the trip to the west coast of India and specifically to Mumbai, India's most populated and wealthy city. Although not the capital of the country, that honour belongs to New Delhi, Mumbai is the entertainment, financial and commercial centre of India and is an utterly fascinating place to visit. Despite the distractions of food and culture, there is business to attend to for the climbers, and they got down to it today in the Sugimoto Exhibition Centre. Jongwon Chon, fresh from a crushing victory in Vale, topped 4 boulders today and eased into the semis. Alexei Rubtsov, winner in Tokyo 6 weeks ago, also had a really straightforward run to the semis here in Mumbai, all 5 boulders in 11 attempts. By the staggeringly high standards they have set this season, today was not Team Japan's best, but they still got 7 athletes through to tomorrow's male semis. Kokoro Fuji, winner in Mumbai last year, looked particularly impressive, flashing all 5 boulders to qualify in first place. The Narasaki brothers Toa and Meichi will be joining him in the semis, as will Yoshiyuki Ogata, Toru Hoi, Sugimoto and Keita Watabe. But Yuki Hada, Yuji Fujiwaki and Kai Harada all missed out and will be watching from the sidelines. Jakob Schubert, fresh from winning the Austrian League Championships, made it through to continue what has been an inconsistency so far. The climbers start the semi-final and reverse order to how qualified, so having finished 7th today, he will start 13th tomorrow. Here's what some of tomorrow's semi-finalists thought of the qualifiers.
It's good qualification, I think one of the best this year. The result is really, I think a lot of climbers who made 2, 3, 4 and 5 boulders. It's good qualification. Finally we got some physical boulders this time.
There are many types of problems. I think I can win tomorrow.
Steep, no slabs, not big overhanding. It's good for me.
How do you feel there's no slabs this time?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I like it for my style. I can do better if there is a lot of physical boulders, but I think 1 slab should be part of every round. And otherwise, I think the qualification was pretty cool to climb.
Yeah, I had 4 boulders out of 5 problems, and I had some troubles with the second boulder. It was pretty hard to hold the tension. I could do this one, and I need a couple of tries for the 4th problem. Could have done it faster, so actually I'm happy with my performance today.
So far it looks like we're both gonna make semifinals and can match each other one more time. I'm psyched.
I can't wait to climb with you in the final.
Yeah, it's the plan.
In the afternoon, the women took to the stage, the same stage in fact where, in 2016, Miho Nanaka claimed her first ever World Cup win. She hasn't won yet this season but has finished 3rd in 4 of the 5 World Cups so far in 2017. She kept her hopes of a second Mumbai win alive today, topping 4 boulders and qualifying comfortably. Petra Klingler seems to be having a bad run of injuries recently, and her most recent knee ligament damage sustained during a photo shoot after the Vale World Cup was clearly troubling her today, but not enough to stop claiming 3 tops and a semi-final berth. Two of her fellow finalists from Vale, Katja Kadic and Akio Noguchi, also made it through with minimal fuss, as did Monaka Retschy, who was 2nd here last year. Chloe Collier, meanwhile, struggled with the boulders, claiming a solitary top, which was enough for her to just sneak through in 20th. Sol Sao joined her after topping 4 boulders, and so will Meiko Taki, who will join Akio, Miho and Aya Onoe as the 4th Japanese woman in the semi-finals. Shauna Coxsey was her imperious best in Vale 2 weeks ago and picked up where she left off in America. She flashed her first 4 boulders, including this controlled ascent of number 2, Although she couldn't quite manage number 5, it didn't really matter. She was easily through by then anyway.
So we've just had a qualifiers here in Mumbai, and they were really good fun actually. The boulders were quite interesting and a lot of different styles, so that was cool. There's a couple of moves that were quite a lot harder than I anticipated, especially for a qualification round. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to push it too hard. I flashed 4 of them, and then the last one was really slippery. You know, PU holds in this heat, it's really hard to stay on the wall. So yeah, I didn't give it my 100%. I didn't give it everything. So yeah, I didn't do that boulder. The last move was just really slippery.
I really enjoyed climbing today. The boulders were great. And yes, I'm surprised to do 4 flashes, but I'm satisfied with my performance today.
Qualifiers were not perfect for me, but I guess so. My knee, yeah, I injured my right knee, so in training, outdoors, it happened, so I have to stick to it, kind of make the best of it.
I'm joined in the commentary box by a very special guest, local climber Nishit Shah. Nishit, for people that amazingly enough might not be aware of your climbing, tell us a little bit about you.
I've been climbing for 8 years now, since 2008.
Just let me move that. There we go.
So I've been climbing since 2008, and I started climbing with Bong and the whole team that's been organizing the World Cup here. And the moment I started climbing, I was hooked because of the community. Climbing was after, but the community was before, which is making this happen. And it has been a shared dream for this World Cup. And over the years, we've been developing a lot of areas for climbing in India, bolting new routes, opening new areas, all of it. And most of the climbing that has been happening is by this community, which has been doing a lot of developmental work, and all these years
And what does it mean to Mumbai to have this World Cup?
it means a lot. You have such a selection of athletes, top class athletes, that like Jan Hoyer, Ghulam Ali, who has been coming to India since 2009, 2008, and coming to our competitions year after year, and all the other climbers, and to see World Cup level competition and climbing happening at home ground for all the Indian athletes, for all the Indian climbers. It is so inspirational to actually see it happening in front of their eyes and be part of the ambience, the atmosphere that is created.
And speaking of world-class climbers, you can see on the centre of your screen there, centre right, Chloe Collier of Belgium, into today's semi-final. We'll run through the start list in just a minute for you. Just to the right there, we can see, it just appeared off screen. We'll focus on Chloe for now. Yeah, Chloe Collier, just the one top in the qualifiers yesterday, but safely through to the semis. She didn't look as if she was especially enjoying herself yesterday, but possibly deserved a slightly better result than she got. I believe she had a hand on the top hold of every boulder in the round, but actually only claimed a successful top of one boulder. But yeah, didn't look as if she was enjoying the heat. But today's a new day, new set of boulders. On the right there we've got Will Riddell of Great Britain. Fantastic day for him. We just have 1 or 2 problems with our graphics. I do apologise. They will be up shortly. Will, first attempt on men's one. I was about to say, amazing day for him yesterday. into the semi-final. Remember, the climbers are in reverse order. The highest ranked qualifier from yesterday climbs last in today's semi-final.
The first problem is quite tricky.
Yeah, talk us through this first women's problem. You and I were on the mats
Yeah.
about half an hour ago. I think that Boulder 1 and 2 tricky for both the men and the
For
women.
both men and women, yeah.
Chloe Collier battling away. Number 1, huge half moon, quarter moon volume. Will Riddell on the right hand side. Men's 1. We're going right to left today in the semi-final as we look at the wall. As I mentioned in the introduction as well, it is monsoon season here in India, and the rain is something to behold. Very soggy looking bunch of climbers and officials in the venue today. And Chloe making good progress on women's 1 thus far.
She's doing a really great job of that boulder. It's still quite tricky though. She has to commit now.
Just trying to figure out this last move. It's one of those moves that from the ground looks as if you should just be able to get yourself in position and go for it from there, but the angle of that half moon volume means you just can't quite get comfortable.
You can't get leverage. You don't know where does your foot go. Yeah. If she gets her foot on that foothold over there, oh, that's the red tiny little foot.
Haven't seen much of Will thus far on men's 1. Really interesting boulder actually.
And the men's 1 is also quite interesting.
It's a jump to some pretty small holds. We were trying to figure out from below. The judges were quite keen we didn't touch the holds in case we greased them up, but we were trying to figure out from below what the best method is. Possibly jumping at the same time with both hands onto the left hand onto the bonus, right hand out hard right. You can just see that yellow hold just to the left of the scaffolding pole. We shall see. Neither boulder top them. And out comes Keita Watabe, leading the way in the overall standings by just 8 points. Had his lead slashed in Vale. Still just about leading the way. Meanwhile, women's 1. Interesting to see how Julia Kruder gets on. This is the first World Cup she's participated in since Meiringen. She was 31st there. Great to have Julia back, and interested to see how she gets on. No one's quite sure of her form and where she's at. Made it into the semi-finals, qualified 19th, climbs 2nd. So she leads the feet on women's 1.
That's an interesting start.
Well, when we were looking at this, we felt that might be the more powerful option.
Yeah.
Keita, meanwhile,
Keita has chalked it.
claimed a top with 1 minute 15 gone of the round. Remember, the climbers have got 5 minutes flat in the semi-final.
He did it really smooth and made it look really easy. And those crimps are really tiny.
So he heads back in. And in the semi-finals, when you've only got 5 minutes rest in between your attempts, an extra 3 minutes 45 is very welcome. So Julia finds herself alone on the stage. She's 23rd in Mumbai in 2016. So no matter what happens today, she'll already have improved on that. And her brother Jerne Kruder will be out climbing later. He'll be climbing 9th alongside Petra Klingler. Julia once again trying the foot first method. Remember, you can get in touch, hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter. Got any questions for Nishit Shah, local Mumbai climber, or any observations of today's semi-final? And if you're up in Europe, well done. Must be the middle of the night. Jet lag a problem for a few of the teams here, actually. A few of them pushing it relatively late with their arrival. I think the record goes to IFSC photographer Eddie Falk. You should see at some stage today. Hopefully not getting too in the way on the mats. Came straight from Denver on Thursday. Just keep an eye on Yulia, and after that we'll see a starting list. 20 men and 20 women through to today's semi-final, of which 6 will be selected for the final. We'll be live with the final here at 5:30 p.m. this evening. So Yulia again going with the feet.
The problem with the foot first method is you get in a position where it's difficult to recover from, or to get yourself in the right position for the next move.
So this is what you were saying when we were out on the mats earlier. You think it'd be not easy, but okay to get the bonus if you go feet first, but then to get yourself out of that position is going to be the crux. A familiar feeling to most climbers. Easy enough to get there, hard then to move. And so it's proven with Yulia. She will have secured the bonus. Having a look, wondering if she's missed anything. Hard to believe that 10 metres from Yulia, it's the heaviest rain I've ever seen. Raindrops like golf balls, but we are nicely sheltered in here. Having experienced Mumbai for the past 4 or 5 days, I don't think an outdoor competition in June would be particularly successful. The monsoon has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah. It rains. It rains.
This is a replay of Yulia. She has actually headed in with 15 seconds still to go in the round. That's why you can see the brushes doing their thing. So no top yet on women's one. Have a quick look at the start list. And there we see, we've already seen Chloe Collier and Yulia Kruder. A bit further down we'll see Alannah Yip, Aya Onoe, Petra Klingler, world champion. Then in 12th place, Michaela Tracy, Monaka Retschy. She was second here last year, remember. Meikataki Akinaguchi, Miho Nanaka Kachikadic and Shauna Coxsey. Shauna had a fantastic day yesterday. Just had a very quick run down the men's start list as well. And there we see it. So Keita just made it into the semi-final, but making it is good enough. So Hung Young Lee of Chinese Taipei out onto women's one. Ditto Vadim Timonov into men's one. Let's see Will and Chloe now. First look at women's 2 and men's 2. Both seemingly relatively straightforward boulders in terms of method, not in terms of difficulty, but relatively easy to read it seemed from the mats. Just a case of body position. Some power required, particularly on the men's boulder. See the effort showing on Vadim's face, but he gets it done 10 seconds slower than Keita. Job done. 3:30 left on the clock.
These kind of boulders are like the classic boulders, what bouldering is, where it's not very acrobatic. It's about the moves. You can read, you can see the holds, but it's difficult. It's like a problem with bouldering, where you need strength and body tension and positioning. The women's one, the women's first problem is a lot more trickier than the men's first problem.
We've not seen the top yet on women's one. We shall see. So Chloe launches up again on women's 2. As I say, yesterday in the qualifiers, Didn't look like she was having much fun, just about did enough and possibly deserves slightly better. We shall see. She's been in finals before. And we do have one or two of the top climbers who haven't made the trip to Mumbai, which might open up some opportunities both in the men's and the women's competition. No Yanya Gambret here this weekend, for example. Will pulls back on men's 2, and there we can see bottom right of your screen Eddie Falk. As I was saying, he wins the prize for longest journey to get here, direct from Denver, albeit with a couple of hours in Munich airport. He's telling me he woke up at 3 a.m. this morning. So if his pictures are a little blurred, you'll forgive him. Again, the feet first method on women's 1.
It becomes a very powerful move after. Nice. We'll see a top here.
I think we will see a top.
Yeah.
There we
Home
go.
has stopped women's 1. That was a well-made move.
We've already seen her in 3 semi-finals so far this year, Chongqing, Tokyo and Meiringen. 33rd last time out in Vale. And a cracking start to the semi-final. Top on women's 1 for her. So Chloe setting up, 45 seconds left on the clock. Not enjoying women's 2 at all at this stage. Let's see there, left of the screen, Yulia Kruder and Keita Watabe getting ready to make their way back onto the stage. Chloe and Will, our first rotation, first climbers onto each boulder. So no tops on women's 2, on men's 2. Out comes Keita and out comes Yulia. Just want to double check how many attempts Vadim Timonov took on men's 1 for you. Keita Watabe, that was a flash. We're currently showing up that that was Vadim's second attempt on men's 1, but the score's not updating. We will let you know as soon as we find out. Meanwhile, Rei Sugimoto, you can see in there, far right, furthest climber from the camera. Out on the men's 1, Leah Crane, second semi-final in a row for her. After Vale, also out on women's 1. Keita back out on men's 2, and Yulia back out on women's 2. So, stage half full. Interesting to see what method Leah chooses here. Again, goes to the left foot, shows the advantage of some flexibility. If you follow Leah or Shauna Coxsey on social media, you'll see their acro yoga that they practice, paying dividends there for Leah. And she is trying a different method. You can see the strain showing though. We said that the more powerful method perhaps was to go with the feet. That's not to say the other method doesn't require a bit of grunt. Also, just to confirm, Hung Ying Lee, that was her 5th attempt on women's 1. Got it done, 5th attempt. Remember, if you are new to bouldering, the key measurement is how many tops the climbers get, how many boulders they can get to the top of. That's what we're most interested in. If they're still tied, it then comes down to attempts. So 5 attempts required for Hung Ying Lee, boulder 1. Keita needs a good result here. You can see him just blowing men's 2. He had, as I say, lead slashed in Vale in the overall standings. Very tight, the overall standings in the men. And the women's, meanwhile, Shauna Coxsey can have her worst day of the season and still clinch her second successive overall title. We'll talk more about that later on. So meanwhile, Yulia, women's 2, seems to be getting a move further each time. Just shake out. It'd be interesting to see what sort of competition shape Yulia's in. Seemed to be quite confident, in good spirits. Seemed to think she was climbing well. Until you get on back in the World Cup, it's hard to know. As I say, I've not seen her since Meiringen. So Leah back onto women's 1. This time goes with the left heel and keeps the right hanging free. The last time she had the right foot and that right hand starting volume. Changes the method this time. Prefers the foot first method. Again, got there relatively easily. It's now moving that's the problem. 55 seconds left on the clock. 5 minutes flat, remember, in the semi-final. Yulia Kruder. Just trying to figure it out. It seems a slightly different method every time. Still showing up, by the way, that Vadim Timonov got men's 1 on his second attempt. Seems to be a slight delay in the scores updating. We shall see. 15 seconds to go in this rotation. And Keita is not going to top men's 2. Cuts a frustrated figure. Ditto Yulia on women's 2. As I mentioned, these boulders, they don't look the most complicated boulders. They're not boulders where you stand at the bottom and have no idea where to start. You can kind of picture the moves, but they are powerful, they're physical. So Will and Chloe back out, already onto boulder 3.
The women's 3 is the most interesting start of all.
Why'd you say that?
You start completely extended.
You can see Chloe Collier demonstrating it now.
And then you have another big quarter sphere where you don't know what to do. You will be horizontal in the next move. And it will be interesting to see how people get the bonus.
So Vadim back out men's 2, top men's 1.
He's gone the farthest now on men's 2.
You can see there, as I mentioned, it's a relatively simple looking boulder, but very powerful. Body position so key. It's not massively steep, that part of the wall, only just overhanging. The whole wall here in Mumbai overhangs. None of it's massively steep, but by the same token, none of it's vertical either.
Yeah. And it's interesting, the women's starting now, because women are flexible, and I would like to see, you can see that women can do that split, which Cole is attempting right now.
So again, a bit like we saw on women's 1, it's one thing to get here, it's another thing to move from this position. There's going to have to be a point where you commit.
What a move.
Chloe does that perfectly, just wedged her foot
perfectly.
in. From here, from here she's heading for that huge green hold we just got a glimpse of. The top. Hopefully our cameraman will zoom out, we can have another look at it. So this will be a relatively comfortable position for Chloe. It's a layback, that hole that she's got her hands on, but a positive one, a good one. She's just lining it up now for the. There's a huge green hole she's going for.
Oh,
there it is.
that top is a nice big jug.
Yeah, it's a good hold.
Yeah, she can comfortably jump up and grab it.
It's quite a specific part of it that you're aiming for, though.
Yeah,
So it does require a bit of accuracy.
yeah. You have to aim it right. You can't shoot too much. You have to hit it just right.
One minute 40 left of the 5 minutes in this rotation. Hung Ying Lee. That's in control so far on women's 2.
What a beautiful move.
She's got that dialed now, Chloe.
Yeah, once you figure it out, this is that kind of move. It does not require strength or accuracy. It's tricky, and that's why we call the roots in bouldering problems, not roots, because it's like a mathematical problem we have to solve. It's just physical. Now
So
she's going for it. Oh, she almost had it.
Poor Chloe, as I said, this is exactly what happened in the qualifying, so close. She'll be confident she can get that move. I think the problem will be time, because the moves between the huge black volumes at the start are quite time consuming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Chloe is heading off the stage. Everyone's heading off the stage. We barely saw there Alannah Yip. Also heading back in. We'll keep you up to date with scores as they come through. Also had another top on men's 1. Andrzej Pehak of Slovenia got it on his 7th go. Just goes to show persistence pays. There you go, Vizonic, excuse me. Good to see him back at the World Cups. Back end of the mats as we look at it. There he is now, closest to the camera. Meanwhile, Alma Bestvarta's also out, women's 1. Leah Crane back out onto women's 2. Already getting to that stage where the semi-final suddenly feels very busy. Stage not quite full, we've had no climbers yet on boulders 4.
The men's 2 holes are really slopey. Even if you hold them, you don't know if you will keep holding them. And Julia has stopped the second women's problem.
Third.
Third.
Yes,
Yeah.
the jump, nailed the jump. Hopefully we can get a replay of that.
She did it comfortably well.
Let's have another look. Lined it up. Right hand, left hand. Who's kicking her legs in
Static.
celebration. It goes to show just how good that hold is, actually, because as soon as she latched it, she knew she wasn't going to fall
she
off.
was not going to fall. That's a good hole. It's a big jug.
So just to confirm, that was a flash for Julia Kruder. It puts her in a temporary lead. You would imagine it's temporary, you never know. So just the 2 tops so far in this women's final so far.
The men's 3, it looks pretty straightforward, but it is not. It's quite tricky as well. And you start in that frog position, really crouched.
So we'll watch Leah on women's 2. Just trying to suss out the hold before committing. Once those feet come loose, once that left heel hook comes off, much harder to hold the position there, and we see it.
That bonus hold has pretty much nothing on it on women's 2 boulder.
Our best Vata meanwhile. Women's 1. Done all the World Cups so far this year apart from Nanjing.
That's a really crouched position, but she has a good chance of finishing the boulder.
This is a move I mentioned earlier. From below, it looks like from there you could just
There she's got it.
fire up to the top easily. Certainly doesn't seem to feel that way.
And touching the top hold doesn't really confirm it. She has to either lean on it, she has to use the hold to get that top. She can't just touch the top and get that. That's really difficult, as you can see.
So she's able to touch the top hold with one hand, unfortunately not with both.
She will not get that top for that.
No, definitely not. K2's got 30 seconds to figure out this men's 3. Once again, Leah Crane just trying to figure out how to cut the foot loose.
And we have a top. Men's 2 has been topped.
Yes, we do have a top. Men's 2, Rei Sugimoto. Really interesting semi-final so far. As we mentioned, the boulders aesthetically quite simple. And the moves not always that difficult to read, but just the precision of the body, balance, and body position key so far. So first look at boulders 4, Will and Chloe. Alternative view there of Ray.
He's really happy.
Pretty happy with that one. 7 Japanese male athletes through to today's semi-final. 4 Japanese women. So Alannah Yip, women's 2. Been spending plenty of time in the commentary box. We'd love to see her in another final. Made the final in Chongqing, ended up 5th. In exactly the same position Leah found herself.
You know what to do in that kind of a situation, but you don't know how it's going to happen. We have Hung Lee trying to figure out the women's 3 problem.
And we didn't see all of Yulia Kruder's
there's that split. And it's so beautiful because, women can act, you can set this kind of problems for women because they have the flexibility and it is fair.
Well earned as well, I might add. Plenty of stretching required to be able to do that quite as comfortably as Lee did it. And just about misses the top. Close. We saw Yulia Kruder wants that right hand latch, no problems. She'll be confident she can get that though. And there's Rakabi of Iran out as well. You might have just seen the right hand side of the screen. Well close to the camera, then Chloe, Vadim. Further down you can see Alannah Yip. David Fernenberg of Germany. We spoke to him yesterday.
Comfortable.
Pretty happy with his qualifier, and he'll be pretty happy with his
Very
start to the semi-final. So Anzi and Alannah. This women's two so far proving to be a problem, as you mentioned earlier. That's why we call them problems. It's like solving a mathematical formula, as you rightly said, and women's two, the perfect demonstration of that.
It's like you know the formula, but you don't get the solution. You don't know what to do, how the formula would work.
There's something missing from the equation. Just got to figure out what it is. Actually did a tour of Mumbai on, must have been Thursday or Friday with Alannah. We put a video of that on Facebook.
Where did you go?
Gateway of India. We went to Magdala's market.
McDonald's market, yeah.
Yeah.
The cloth market.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Very famous.
And the Haji Ali Mosque.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
How did you find the Haji Ali Mosque?
Well, it was great. We went last year actually, but this time the tide was out, so it's no worries about getting washed away by the waves, which made a nice change. So Hun Ying Lee launches
and confirms it.
This time she gets it.
This time she was comfortable. She committed to it.
Yeah, that first attempt, we kind of felt she'd get it from there. Chloe, women's sport, again, an interesting boulder. It's just body position, so vital. One wrong move and it'll spit you off. It's not a massively overhanging part of the wall. Probably 10-15 degrees overhanging. Oh, here's Will on number 4. I've not seen much of Will. It's close, but not quite close enough. 20 seconds left. Hurries back on for another go. Elnaz, women's 1. Also does speed and lead climbing on. That's quite the all-rounder. Not quite managing to latch that huge volume on women's 1. Let's have another look at Lee. There you go. That is hard-earned flexibility. We saw Chloe Collier use a toe hook to sort of pull herself over to the layback. If you've got long enough legs and good enough flexibility, you can use that method. Cater then, and Yulia out onto number 4. Stage full, and will be for the foreseeable future. Team Japan on women's 1 and men's 1. Aya Onoe. Takuru Hori. Keep an eye top of your screen. We're going to have the small results. So Hun Ying Lee leading the way. 2 tops so far. Just the 1 for Yulia Kruder. It was a flash. Climber speak for doing it first time. Currently sitting in 2nd place. Cater at this stage looks to be enjoying men's 1.
Yeah, he's making good progress on the 4th problem.
Interesting holds in use on men's 4 actually. The dual texture, so the white section of the hold has little or no friction.
It's glossy, it has no friction. You put your foot there and you slip off. Pretty much.
Sugimoto, we just saw him top number 2. He's out onto number 3. Climbers only get 5 minutes rest in between boulders here. It's not like the final where you get a long rest, plenty of recovery time. 5 minutes, you're back out. So Aya, this is women's 1.
Come on, Aya. Come on.
Glad she took her chalk bag.
Yeah. That's a comfortable position. And she confirms it.
Yeah, nicely done from Aya. She just took her time, plenty of time on the 3 minutes. Just had to figure out how to position herself. And it was off camera, but I've just seen her scurry off stage. They're looking to add to her 1 top so far this morning. very early morning if you're watching us from Europe. Kuru Hori, this is men's 1. You can see the tiny holds he's going for, just off shot as well, just off to the right. There's a tiny foothold.
You can barely see it. It's like a speck on the wall.
Just enough to control the move right.
Yeah.
So what's his method? He goes with the left hand. Pure power in the shoulder just to be able to hold that position. Just trying to suss out how to move right. Best fast, so this is women's 2. Had a 9th place already, Alma. That was in Tokyo. So only missed 1 World Cup. This is number 5 for her this year. It's number 6 in the bouldering calendar. Less than 1 minute to go for Keita and Yulia to make their final dent on the scoreboard. Gregor still smiling, but not quite figuring out men's 2 as it stands. This is his first appearance in a Boulder World Cup since Munich 2016. Also saw him in Kran in the lead World Cup in 2016, wow. And Yulia does add to her list of tops. Women's 4.
This is the first top we've seen on women's 4th problem.
Keita's got 10 seconds. He's really racing the clock here. Can't spend too long figuring out the method. Just needs to go. Just doesn't have time.
At this angle and that, even that slight overhand, it's difficult to hold.
You're nice and controlled. Just had to figure out what to do with the feet. Don't celebrate too early. We've seen that mistake made before, and then you can see the judge's hand raise to signify the top. So this would be interesting. Petra Klingler out onto women's 1. You can see some heavy strapping on her right knee. You might remember earlier in the season she had a knee injury sustained from ice climbing. Probably a moral in that story. And just when it seemed that she was pretty much over that, she's injured her right knee. This time it was on a photo shoot in the Rocky Mountains after the Vail World Cup. Seems to be having a terrible run of injuries. Had a problem with her elbow. This is the second knee she's damaged this year, and it did seem to be affecting her slightly yesterday. Did enough to get into the semi-finals, but was clearly troubled by it. She looked quite upset a couple of times.
It's making a really delicate move.
On women's 4. Alannah's on women's 2. Just I've seen this with a couple of climbers already.
It's fairly easy to read for the climbers to know what to do, but to actually stick it. That's an interesting move. She changed her hands.
It looked relatively promising as well.
Yeah.
There's Alannah Yip we just saw disappearing back into isolation. I'm assuming that's the top. We'll let you know when that's confirmed. Yes, it is. Women's 3. Got it on her second go, Alannah, and there it is. Absolutely launched for the top. Nicely done. Meanwhile, David Fernenberg, he's on men's 2. Petra Klingler, we see her there. Mentioned about the right knee. It's not the easiest move. You've got a sore right knee. But finds a way that works for her.
And that would be a difficult move for her. It would be painful in the knee, I guess.
Yeah, you could see it was dropped down. It's a particularly strenuous position with some lateral force going through it. we have any knee specialists out there, you'll have to remind me the name of the ligament. It's the one on the outside of the knee. Any skiers out there should be very familiar with knee ligaments, which ones you can damage. Remind me the name of it. MCL? Meanwhile, Vadim, men's 4, taking matters into his own hand. Just had an interesting comment on Twitter. Don't forget you can get in touch. Hashtag IFSCWC. Tajas Patel. All I want to do in these problems is just see if I can start them. There's no way I'd be able to finish. Well, after most rounds of the competition, I have to say I do get on stage and try the boulders. I have to admit there have been some rounds in 2017 where I haven't been able to start any of the boulders, let alone finish them. I'm yet to claim a top, put it that way. So the stage is beginning to empty out. We'll keep you up to date with the scores as they come through. It's that stage of the semi-final, 8 climbers on stage, so much happening. So, bring you up to date. Yerne Kruder, he flashed number 1, so he currently leads the way. The only male climber with a flash in today's semi-final. He's only done 1 boulder, already holds the lead. David Fernenberg in second, followed by Vadim Timonov and Ray Sugimoto. In the top 4 as things stand. Over in the women's competition, Yulia Kruder leads the way, so it's Kruder leading the men's and the women's. Yulia's completed her 4 boulders. She got 2 tops. It took 6 attempts. Hung Ying Lee, who's currently on women's 4, is in second place. She's got 2 tops so far. If she could make it 3, she'd be in a very strong position. Leah Crane, meanwhile, she flashed number 3. She's currently sitting in third. Petra Klingler, I know a flash number 1. They're currently sitting in 4th and 5th, respectively. If there is a tie in score, we do go back to countdown to the previous round. Petra was 1 place ahead of Aya in the qualification, so that's why Petra currently ahead of her in the standings. Long way to go, though. You might be able to hear the beeps. It signifies time up. Leah Crane comes out for her last boulder.
It would be interesting to see Leah Crane do this problem because she's so powerful and this problem is so delicate and balancing. You can't really do anything with your power on a problem like this.
She's been competing a long time before she rushes into anything. Clean to hold. Tries to read it. Meanwhile, Jongwon Chon, you can just see him there, not in an especially well-lit part of the stage. Pretty easy top for him. 45 seconds on the clock. He's already collected his scorecard.
Straightforward.
He looked absolutely superb in Vale. Nobody really got that close to him.
That's the farthest we've seen anybody get on the 4th problem for men's.
Theoretically, as the round goes on, we should see the effects of being ever so slightly shorter. Can't quite reach in the way that Hung Ying Lee did. I was about to say, theoretically, we should see more tops as the round goes on. Theoretically, the stronger climbers come out. Doesn't always prove to be the case. And when Jongwon Chon's in the lower half of the draw, you know it's only a theory.
And she's confirmed the bonus.
Nicely done from Alma.
Very nice.
Didn't look like she could stretch at first. Didn't do it quite as easily as Hung Ying Lee, but got there in the end and very nearly gets the top. I don't think she'll be relishing the prospect of doing that stretch move again. Johanna Faber of Austria. Women's 1, men's 1 next to her empty. Jongwon Chon already topped it and back inside.
We see all the women going with the foot first method in the first boulder. That seems to be like the most logical move over there.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's not the way you and I read it as being the easiest method. It may not prove to be the case as we possibly see more and more tops, but it certainly seems to be the most popular method.
Yeah.
So Ray lining it up on men's 4. So close. It looked as if he had the sweet spot of the hole. Quite surprised to see him fall there. It's a good hole he's going for. Perhaps slightly rushed in his movement. Alma, meanwhile, lining it up. Women's 3. This time she gets it. We've seen that a couple of times. It's a good hole, but when you're coming from that far away, you've got to hit it perfectly. Just needed one attempt to figure it out. And gets that move on the second go.
Very deceiving kind of a hole. It looks good, it's jug, so you go easy, but then you realize it's not really like that, and then you miss it.
Johanna competing in her 7th Boulder World Cup. Also took part in the World Championships in Paris and finished in one of the toughest places of all, 21st.
That's a really big knee drop.
It doesn't look a comfortable way of doing it.
No, I don't think she would be happy to do that again.
Yeah, I was just saying in Paris she was 21st, a bit of a heartbreaking position to finish. Be at least 20th here in Mumbai regardless. So Ray, he was very close last time. You've got to be accurate though. It's a good hole, but it's a relatively small one.
And you can't jump to it. You have to, you have to do it in a controlled manner.
Yeah, he looked slightly rushed the first time.
Yeah.
Much better that time, claims the top. Hopefully the attempts will not count against him. Leah on women's 4, top for her.
Yeah, I'm happy to see her do that.
Yeah, that's 2 tops for Leah. First one was a flash. We'll let you know how many attempts that one took. By the way, that top on men's 4 puts Ray Sugimoto in the lead. 2 tops for him, requiring 7 attempts to get them. Nobody else with 2 tops at this stage. However, he didn't do Boulder number 1, and 6 climbers have already done it. So although he leads the way at this stage, Ray has got a nervous time watching. Excuse me. That was Leah topping out on number 4. And that puts her in the lead in this semi-final. 2 tops, 6 attempts. Up next to try it will be Alannah Yip. Anzi is out into men's 4. You see David Fernenberg there in the green shorts. And there's Rakabi in the light blue top with the long sleeves. And further down you can see the outline of Petra Klingler, Yene Kruder. Petra top number 1. Knee injury seemingly not causing any problems.
That's a stretch. That's the first we've seen on this boulder. We should see some progress on this boulder now.
Yeah, it's interesting because most of the women we've seen, their centre of gravity over to the left, which means moving right puts you off balance. Petra trying a slightly different method that time. David has to stand. Nothing on men's 3.
Elnaz is having a lot of problems, starting on the women's 3rd problem.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if she could stretch between the 2 huge volumes. Certainly from here it doesn't look like it, but Chloe Collier managed without doing the splits. So it can be done. Simon Unger, meanwhile, of Germany. We'll see his compatriot Jan Hoyer in not too long, 4 climbers time. Schweriger. So women's 1. Alannah Yip just checking the time, 2:20 on the clock. Not as much progress in this rotation. All 8 climbers still out on the stage. No tops as things stand in this 5-minute time.
Also out on the mat, working on their first boulder problem, representing Canada, Alannah Yip, and representing Slovenia, Andrej Petra. Come on, Andrej! Come on! Ale, you got this, come on!
Could be close to a top on men's 4 here.
Ale, Andrej,
And
come on!
again touches the top hole, but
Yeah.
it's just such a small hold. When you're coming at it dynamically, it's very hard to control. You saw Ray, he only got it once he found a way of doing it semi-statically. He committed, didn't lunge for it. Petra, meanwhile, likes that right foot up method. Seems to be working for her. Yet to see a top on women's 2. Could be about to see one here.
Oh, that looked promising.
Yeah, looked like a decent method. So this was Alannah Yip topping women's 4. She did that on her 3rd attempt. And that puts her into the lead. So as it stands, your top 3 in the women's semi-final are Alannah Yip leading the way, followed by Julia Kruder and Leah Crane.
And we have Elnas finishing the women's 3rd problem.
Let's see where that puts her. By my calculations, that will put her into 8th place with 1 boulder to go. Petra, meanwhile, no, shakes her head. Won't be attempting that again. Remember, 5 minutes flat. Probably in a struggle for time regardless. She felt she could do it on the next go. So Jongwon Chon, saw him make very, very light work of men's 1. He's back out onto men's 2.
It is really important to conserve your energy in the beginning problems, because you have 4 problems to go and you only get 5 minutes of rest in between each problem. And if you spend too much energy in the first problems, then it gets really hard.
Yeah, worth remembering as well, people that make the final will have to climb again this evening, so it's all a factor, and it's very difficult to recover here in Mumbai. It's not like in Vail where we had the problem of the altitude, but humidity and everything does make it very difficult. Climbers have all been saying they've been trying to maximise their time in air conditioning and minimise time outside, because as soon as you get outside, even when it's raining, the heat and the humidity is overwhelming. Recovery is quite challenging here. It's a case of getting back to the hotel as fast as you can. Get some fuel inside you.
In fact, this year it's so much better than last year. Last year we had the World Cup in May, in the middle of summers, and the temperatures were north of 40 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, for people that aren't familiar with the Mumbai climate, May, I think I'm right in saying it's the hottest month of the year.
May, yeah. May is the hottest month.
It's hard to imagine, actually. It's slightly cooler now. It was still 33 degrees yesterday with 80% humidity. It is slightly cooler.
It's a lot more pleasant, I would say. For us Indians, this is good weather. we are so much more happy.
Yeah, I've got Nishit Shah next to me, the Mumbai local climber, wearing a down jacket. Only kidding.
Working on their 3rd boulder problem, both representing Japan.
So Johanna Faber, women's 2. We've not seen a top of this boulder, as I mentioned. Interestingly enough, every climber so far has had a bonus on it. So everyone's reached the bonus and no one's reached the top. Here's Michaela Tracy. Climbed really, really well in the qualifiers yesterday. Looked in the zone. Every top she got was followed by massive fist pump, big shout.
She was out to get this World Cup.
She was on it yesterday. Let's see if she is again today. Jongwon Chon. He's on it in Vail and he's close. Men's 2. Okay, look, it's not the most dignified section of moves, this. She's fighting. Just catch a glimpse of her face every now and then. You can see the effort But that's
And the body position you get in is, you get so stuck inside, you don't know how to move out of it. You can't move your legs, you can't move your hands, and you're stuck, and it's powerful.
second Iranian climber out, by the way. We've already had Elnaz Rakabi, now we've got Gholam Ali Barat today out on men's 1. So Iran represented in both men's and women's competition. Keep an eye top of your screen, small results coming through. Alannah Yip leading the way at this stage. It will be her second World Cup final. Rei Sugimoto leading the men's. So no more than 2 tops for any climber in either men's or women's competition so far.
Last night I was talking to the route setters, and they have had to change the routes a little bit based on the qualifiers, and they said they wanted to make it harder, then they made it easier, then they wanted to make it harder, and then like the last word I got from them was, they're okay.
The impossible job route setting. Yeah, head route setter this week here in Mumbai is Manu Hassler. It's Percy Bishton working for him, who was the chief last time out in Vale, and Manu was working for Percy. So they've swapped roles this time for Mumbai. Manu, the owner of Flat Holds Climbing Hold Company. He supplied some holds for this World Cup, although they arrived too late, unfortunately, to feature in this round. There's some problem with customs.
Alma making progress here on women's 4, and she confirms it.
Nearly, now she does, yes.
Yeah.
Top for Alma. Quick look at the judge to make sure. Plenty of problems.
And she's got women's 3.
Yes, Aya tops women's 3. Jongwon Chon close on men's 2. No. Interesting that he cruised men's 1. Let's have a look at Aya. She's lining up the jump. She's got the layback. Just spotting the bit of the hold, and that is absolutely spot on, and just places the left hand on top. She's got the sweet spot with the right, and the left follows.
That's the tricky part about good hold. You think the hold is good, so you don't really commit to it so much. You don't really go for it with the intention because you think it's easy. But when you do, that's when you get it.
So Petra
assisting her foot to get that hold.
Great to see world champions do that as well. Yeah. It's not just mortals. Again, I don't think she would like the split method.
Yeah.
But that looked a relatively easy way of doing it, actually, from Petra.
That's the easiest way of doing it I've seen so far.
Yeah, interesting when you watch it done like that. You wonder why everyone hasn't done it. But you made that look very straightforward. Now she's just got to line up for the jump.
And simple enough for her.
No problem. Well, if the knee is causing big problems, it's not showing. They've not been the most sympathetic boulders to someone with an injured right knee either. The split method would have been very, very difficult with a bad knee. She found a really nice, slightly different method. Again, just seen Aya. Now we'll see Petra. She'll lead just with the right hand, left on top. Almost a carbon copy. Left hand perhaps slightly further left than Aya, but basically pretty much a copy of Aya's move to the top. Simon Unger. He competed in a couple of World Cups in 2017. This is his first semi though. First semi of 2017, I should say. I mean, 2015 is also in the semi. And just cut away from Jakob Schubert, and he did get the top on men's 1. Monaka Retschy, meanwhile, she's out. She was second here last year. Great result for her. Would dearly love a repeat. Let's have a look at Jakob.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, he's been quite vocal that he doesn't want too many slabs, too much parkour style bouldering. He likes the traditional style boulders. Enjoyed the round in the qualifiers and certainly enjoying the semi-finals so far. Wonderful. This is her fourth semi of 2017. Only missed out twice, so 2/3 of the semi she's made it into, but no finals as yet. 10th in Chongqing, her highlight in 2017 as it stands. But as I say, she was second here last year.
She's going to find herself stuck there.
So 1 minute 30 left for Berit and Simon. Simon's compatriot David Fernenberg down here on men's 4. He wasn't in Vale actually last time out, but he's made every other semi this year, David.
Men's 3 is a problem which we have not seen a top for.
We've not seen a top on men's 3. And we also haven't seen a top of women's 2. Got a question on Twitter actually from Anita Chong. On average, how many countries are represented at an IFSC WC? That's the hashtag if you want to get in touch. Hashtag IFSC WC. For Meiringen there were 35. And there are 18 in Navi Mumbai. Just to give you some idea. Not sure what the average is, but I'd say between 20 and 30, depending on where the competition is. And David's so close on men's 4, he's not going to have time for another go. And Monaka Retschy, if she wants to top here, is going to have to move very, very quickly. And these are moves that are not easy to do very, very quickly. I'm pretty sure she's going to be timed out. She is. She might have got that. She got into a promising position, but time against her. By the time she'd figured it out, less than 20 seconds to go. Looks like there's some confusion there with David Fernenberg, just signalling to the judges. And then we can see Petra Klingler, world champion. 2 tops, both of them flashes so far, and she's got all the bonus. Holding there all flashes as well. In men's competition. And Sugimoto leading the way. Really man, interestingly enough, with 2 tops so far in the semi-final. Tough round today. He's finished his rotation, Ray. So all he can do now is watch. Closest to the camera there is Dimitri Narasaki. He was second in Vale 2 weeks ago. Brother of Tomoa, 2 years younger. And about 30 centimetres taller than his brother. And Sol Sa, the partner of Jongwon Chon, she's out onto women's 1. Matey, you can see that hold that he's going for, the foothold. It was good timing actually, because you certainly wouldn't be able to spot it had you not gone for it. It is absolutely minute. It's just enough to give you something for that top move.
Just enough. If not for that hold, then it would be a campus move. With that hold, it's still almost a campus move.
So Johanna Faber there, close on women's 3. She's got 3:20 left on the clock. I think she can get that done.
We see some progress on men's 3 here by Jongwon.
Yeah, Jongwon Chon.
I think we'll see a top here.
Yes.
That's the first one.
Top on men's 3, Jongwon Chon. As I say, looked in superb form in Vale. Looked unstoppable almost. And won. And in second place was Dimitri Narasaki, who was just top men's 1. Golamali Baratzadeh who's on the left of the screen there. He's on men's 2. Solsar's on women's 1. And again, just helping the left foot into place, and uses the Petra Klingler method. Nicely done. It was an interesting move that. We've seen the splits. We saw Chloe Collier toe hooking. And it works just fine this time. Easy. So Johanna, top for her on women's 3. Let's keep an eye on the scores. Jungwon Chon with that top of number 3, that puts him in a good position. First place, he's still got a boulder to go. Men's 4 has only been topped once though, that was by Rei Sugimoto.
And we have another top in women's 4.
Sol Sa, meanwhile, plenty of time, minute and a half. And as we saw with Monaka Retschy, you do need a bit of time just to figure out how to get in position here.
She's in good position now.
And again, takes a chalk bag. I remember Sean McColl was in the commentary box in Tokyo last year, and he doesn't like people taking chalk bags. Doesn't think you should on a boulder, but to each his own. Each her own. And Sol Sa was glad of hers. But didn't quite get it done.
That should have been... She looked in a very comfortable position there.
Yeah, quite surprising actually. I thought she'd cruise it from there. She's comfortable enough to chalk up, but couldn't quite figure out how to move. She's still on the mat. She'll have another go. She'll try and calculate it to the closest second she can actually. Takuru Hori. No. Not on men's 4. So still only seen one top that. Meanwhile, Michaela Tracy, she's on women's 2. Like we've seen with a few of the athletes, just trying to figure out body position. So Sol Sa has perhaps left it slightly late here. When she fell on her previous attempt, she had a minute left, and she might have used a bit too much for the rest here.
Yeah.
It's 5 seconds to go. No. Slight miscalculation, I think, from Sol Sa there. I think she probably should have started that attempt slightly earlier, but it's such a physical boulder, you need recovery time. Tough line to draw. As I say, perhaps started just a bit too late. So Yene Kruder and Petra Klingler, they're out for their final boulders. Yene could do with something here. He's currently sitting in 4th, not at a top since boulder 1. Keep an eye on the top of your screen. These are updated results. Jungwon Chon, he's still got a boulder to go. You can see him in first place there. Meanwhile, we've got Mei Kotaki out. We're on to the 15th climber already in the semi-final. Always seems to be the way. The semi-finals kind of get going slowly and you ease into it, and before you know it's disappearing before your eyes. On to the 15th climber, Mei Kotaki, and in the men's competition, Jan Hoyer. Monaka Retschy and Jakob Schubert left and right on the screen on boulders 2. It's so close to a top from Yene Kruder. He's got 3:30 left on the clock. I think he can do that. His sister currently sitting in 5th place. She got 2 tops in 6 attempts. As I mentioned earlier, the key determinant in a bouldering competition is who can top the most boulders. If the climbers are tied, it then comes down to attempts to get those tops. If they're still tied, it comes down to how many bonus holds the climber got. You see midway up each boulder is a clearly marked bonus hold, and if they're still tied after tops, attempts and bonuses, it comes down to bonus attempts.
We see Jan Hoyer having quite a bit of trouble in the men's first problem. Those holes are really tiny, the crimps, especially the left hand.
He's got more than half his time allocation remaining. Doesn't need to worry just yet. He's been around a while, Jan. Use his time wisely. Meanwhile, you can see May scrapping away on women's 1. Made every semi-final in 2017, Meikataki. And made a final as well in Nanjing, 6th place.
Yeah, she's in position.
Probably a move that where being slightly smaller is
of an advantage.
Advantageous. Yeah, you've got shorter limbs to try and leave around.
That makes me very happy. Because
me too.
And me especially being small, when I see longer, taller people having a little bit of trouble, it's quite satisfying actually. She's taking a rest over there.
The ongoing debate is climbing easier for smaller or taller people. Obviously, as a smaller person, I'm with you. Taller people have got a huge advantage.
Absolutely.
I'd be climbing 9A if I was 6 inches taller.
Exactly.
Again, a relatively full stage, certainly the right-hand side of it. Trying to get a close-up there of Meikataki. We can see where she's going. Can she get there?
And she... Wow.
Nicely done from Meikataki, and had the added advantage as well that she was looking straight at the judges, so she could check when they awarded her the top. So here's Petra. She's fighting away on women's 4. Yene Kruder still on the mat on men's 4, so we saw him have a very good attempt earlier on. Still not topped it though.
Petra tops it.
Top for Petra. That will put her in a very strong position. She'll be in first place by virtue of having taken less attempts than Io to get her 3 tops. Just wait for the scores to update. Yeah, 3 tops in 5 attempts for Petra, 3 tops in 9 attempts for Aya. Alannah Yip currently sitting in 3rd place. Alma Besvato and Julia Kruder and Leah Crane making up the top 6 at this early stage. Long way to go though. I fear that certainly for Leah, Julia, Alma and Alannah with just 2 tops it might not be enough. Ono and Petra Klingler with 3 tops in a stronger position, but as I said, long way to go in the semi-final. You can see there Dimitri Narasaki, he's back out onto men's 2.
And we have Yoshiyuki Ogata on the first problem for men's.
Katerina Kiprianova of Russia out onto women's 1 as well. And Eddie Fauk, IFSC photographer and owner of the circuit climbing. He's saying to me she's a climber worth watching. She was his tip for the semi-final. Hopefully we'll see her in action. She's 27 from St. Petersburg. We don't see her in that many World Cups. She's actually done a World Cup every year since 2012, but never done a full season. But as I say, she was Eddie's tipper as a potential outsider for a spot in the final. A really good day yesterday, qualified in 5th place. Keep an eye on her.
Ekaterina also had a great day yesterday. Oh.
Full commitment from Michaela Tracy, but not quite a top.
Also working on the 3rd boulder problem. Gulamali from Iran. Ali, come on.
She has not had a top so far, Michaela. She's pretty close there, 3.5 minutes to go.
A knee jam.
You know it's savage when you need to tape up. Katerina may be wishing she had done.
Yeah.
That's Solsa on the left of your screen. Formerly of the purpley grey blue hair. Change in style for 2017. So we are yet to see a top on women's 2 still, awaiting our first top. Solsa won't get it that time. Dimitri Narasaki, 35, he's on men's 2. Here's Michaela Tracy lining it up again.
And
yes, this time she gets it.
Yeah, the deceptively positive big chug.
Just keep an eye on Johanna Ferber here. Pretty close on women's 4.
And
gets the job done. So it's a lot of tops. Women's 4.
Yeah.
By my count, that's number 7. And I think, depending on number of attempts, that might move her into the provisional top 6. We'll let you know when we confirm how many attempts that top took. So, Jongwon Chon. It's a climber I haven't actually seen that much of in the semi-final. I can't believe he's already on number 4. It's been topped already, this boulder, by Rei Sugimoto. Jongwon Chon's already leading in today's semi-final. This will give him a very commanding lead. Doesn't quite get it. If he can get that move, he'll be the first climber with 3 tops. And there's only Rei Sugimoto who's got more than 1, so we'll put him in a very strong position.
He seems to have worked out the last problem for himself.
Yeah, a bit like we saw with Ray. He went slightly dynamically that time, didn't quite get it. I think he'll just slow it down if he can. He'd fancy his chances in his next attempt. Galamali, he's on number 3. Really awkward, compressed start. He's a tall climber. That sort of start, not easy for him, but he figured it out. Trick now is moving. Less than a minute to go.
Ekaterina going again with the knee jam. That must be painful.
Yeah, that's not it doesn't look a comfortable position to find yourself in.
Yeah.
So, can Sol Sa claim a top on women's 2? She'd be the first climber to do so. She didn't top women's 1.
She looks comfortable there. Oh.
It's one of those boulders where every move, you've just got to get the body position so perfect. And it's burning through the time as well as the attempts every time they fall.
Oh.
Jongwon Chon, very surprised. Couldn't hold on to the top of men's 4. Doesn't have time or inclination for another go. So he'll have to settle for 2 tops. It might be tight, that. He's currently in the lead, but we are yet to see Alexei Rubtsov, Tomoa Narasaki, Dimitri Sharafutdinov. Great to have him back at the business end of a semi-final, I might add. And Kokoro Fuji. Alexei Rubtsov just made his way onto the stage. Let's have a look at Jongwon Chon. Very surprising. It looks as if he hit the sweet spot of the hole. Might need a real close-up to figure out exactly what happened, but surprising. We shall see. He's currently in first place, 2 tops. Rei Sugimoto also with 2 tops, no one else with more than 1. Saw Simon Unger there, his compatriot Jan Hoyer's also on the mats. Alexei Rubtsov, winner from Tokyo about 6 weeks ago.
So comfortable. Oh.
Surprising to see him aiming for the top of that hole as well. There's not a lot of friction on the top of that hole. It's comfortably the best part of it is right in the middle.
Yeah.
Trying a slightly different method.
He did the hardest part super comfortably and just about missed the top hole.
So Monaka Retschy again trying to figure out how to get that foot up. If you don't have the flexibility to get that foot up there, I don't want to say this bowl is impossible, but it's extremely difficult.
And even with assistance from a hand.
That was the top from Alexei Rubtsov on men's 1. And a top for Akiyo Noguchi on women's 1. So 2 legends of the sport, Akiyo and Alexei, disappear back in and themselves a bit of extra rest. You can see Alexei, yeah, this time he goes for the middle part of the hold. Surprising to see him aim for the wrong bit the first time. Had a slightly different method in mind, but this time he gets it. So, Monaka, she's found some way of getting the foot up there. So from here, Petra very calmly just stepped across. Monaka jumps across but gets the job done. Now she just needs to set herself. She can see where she's going. We can see where she's going. Can she do it? Yes, she can.
She does it.
Landed virtually with both hands at the same time. Pretty happy with that result. And an extra 2 minutes of rest. So let's have another look at it. Here she'll appear into our shot. There she comes. Bang, bang, right, left. And you could tell
Full commitment.
Yeah, as soon as she got it, she knew that she was solid there. We've had a question, by the way, from Giles. Let's just have a quick look. Jakob Schubert topping men's 3. It's not the first top of it.
Second top.
It's the second one, yeah. Let's just confirm how many attempts before I get to the question on Twitter. Third attempt that was for Jakob, and that's the second attempt of that boulder. Jongwon Chon also did it. Yeah, question from Giles on Twitter. What's the height of the wall? Well, rule 7.3.1 says, each boulder shall be designed in such a way that the lowest part of the body of the competitor shall never be higher than 3 meters above the landing mat. So it'll vary slightly from competition to competition, but the lowest part of the athlete's body cannot be above 3 meters.
Jan Hoyer trying to muscle through the men's second problem.
Yeah, just confirm he didn't get men's 1, he got a bonus on his 4th attempt, Jan. So back on to number 4. Simon Unruh and Berit Schweiger. And Simon, as we've seen plenty of other climbers, not too tough getting into this stage. But bring it home from there, very, very difficult, and he won't have time for another go. And now will Berit, and he knows he was close there. So unfortunately for him, he'll finish with no tops. Fairly sure it will be all 4 bonuses for him though. Colin O'Malley the next to try his luck. Meanwhile, Miho Nanaka and Tomoa Narasaki back out. Miho Nanaka won here last year.
In style.
In style, yes. Tomoa, meanwhile, he was second in Mumbai in 2016. That was before the... You have to just watch this from Seoul. So that is extraordinary flexibility.
Yeah.
Foot, higher than her head. One of those moves that makes most people's eyes water. And then she'll go for a slightly more traditional method. Meanwhile, Colin O'Malley here. Men's 4. This looks promising. Again, we have seen a lot of climbers at this stage.
Getting to this position but not sticking the top hole. It's really critical to really compose yourself and in a controlled manner go for the top hole.
That's a very good attempt early on in the round though. Still 3:40 left. Could well take that. Tomoa, meanwhile. These are boulders I think he can get on with. He's getting on with men's 1 as it stands. Not won a World Cup this year, Tomoa, after a fairly extraordinary second half of 2016. Claimed the overall World Cup title. Playing the World Championships, Adidas Rock Stars, you name it. He smashed everything in his path in 2016, particularly the latter half. Quite rediscovered that form.
Mio having
2017.
Mio having quite a bit of trouble here, trying to get the top hole.
Miho, yeah, she's in a reasonably good position. It's all Japan on screen right now. Big cheer from the crowd. Miho gets it done.
That was powerfully done. And Good arm.
So did he get it done? It looks a pretty comfortable position. He did get it done.
Get it done.
Nice work. This is actually a replay of Solsa we're watching now. This is not live. Let's have a look. I was about to say that was second top of men's four. Superb effort from Golamali. It does enough to put him in 6th place. Do well to hang on to 6th place, but awesome way to finish his round. So Solsa. It looks a long way. She's relatively short, Solsa. Will need to be accurate, and was. We were watching Golamali at the time. Solsa claims the top. This is live now. This is back live. Michaela Tracy, women's 4, top number 3.
You can't muscle through this one.
No, you can't.
Ekaterina trying to figure out the women's second problem.
Yeah, didn't do number 1. Got the bonus. That was on her second attempt. Shiyuki Agati's just got the brushes hard at work here. He's got 30 seconds left on men's 2, men's 4 empty. Golamali Baratzadeh topped it, and Tomoa Narasaki struggling. 25 seconds to go. He's got plenty of time for another attempt. The key here really, I think, is just to get it done, not worry too much about the attempts. Jongwon Chon is leading the way with only 2 tops. So just get the tops in, don't worry too much about the attempts, it would seem.
Oh.
He just can't get himself set for that final move, just couldn't quite figure out how to launch for it.
And Michaela Tracy has done the 4th problem.
Yeah, pretty sure she got that in time.
Yeah.
We'll double check, she was very close to the buzzer. Yeah, she was awarded it. 5th attempt she got that. So that's 2 tops for Michaela. Even at this early stage, it's only enough to put her in 8th place. So she won't make the final. This is a slight showing for Michaela. She's been quite close much of the season. And there we go. There are the updated results. Michaela Tracy, she was awarded that top on women's 4, and she's in 8th place. Jongwon Chon, as I mentioned, leading the way. Now 2 climbers. 3 climbers with 2 tops. Jakob Schubert joins that group. Fresh from winning the Austrian Lead Championships. Put a hashtag on his Instagram actually. I guess lead is still my thing. I think bouldering's still his thing as well. 2 tops so far. Out onto the mats on Boulder 1 as well. We've got Katja Kadic, who for the 2nd event running is having an absolutely superb weekend. Absolutely crushed the semi-final in Vale. Really climbed well yesterday, qualified in 2nd. And meanwhile on men's 1, we've got Dimitri Sharafutdinov. Really good to see him back. Vastly experienced and hugely successful competitor. Not seen him since Nanjing actually, and he was 39th there. He was 14th in Meiringen earlier in the year, but yesterday in the qualifiers, by far the strongest performance we've seen from him in 2017. He's walking off the stage with the top in the bag with over 3 minutes left in the round. Meanwhile, Jan Hoyer, Meiko Takia out on the 3rd boulders. So, Jan Hoyer, his last final actually was Chongqing 2016. I spoke to him yesterday. He's in good spirits, enjoying the Indian experience. He said he was feeling strong, feeling good. We shall see. Meanwhile, May, it's a long jump to that top hold. I mentioned it before. May, she's one of the shorter climbers. There's some moves where it helps you, like on women's 1, and some where it counts against you, like women's 3. So Jakob looking to become the first male climber with 3 tops here. Currently sitting in second place. 2 tops in 5 attempts. He's got 2 minutes left to figure that one out. Still only Ray Sugimoto who topped that men's 4.
Come on, Jan. Ale.
Jan looking as if he's getting slightly frustrated there. Meanwhile, May will have another go at the jump. Can she get the foot slightly higher?
And she gets it.
She does get it hit. You've got to hit the sweet spot of the hole to get that. You can see it was absolutely on her fingertips. Got the perfect part of the hole. Precision move. Nice top. As I mentioned, not a boulder that would naturally suit her, but she finds a way. Really nicely done from Meika Taki. Brilliant climber. Found a way over the line on women's 3. So Jakob, number 4. This will put him in such a strong position. Just trying to figure out how to go for it. He's so close.
This last move is giving a lot of people problems.
As we mentioned, it's a good hold. It's not a great hold. It's a hold that we thought was quite good, but you watch the calibre of climbers that are slipping off it, it's not as good as it initially seems. Keo and Alexi, 2 climbers very familiar with the top step of the podium. Keo, she's not won this year. 4-time overall champion though. She's had a bit of a funny 2017 actually. She's either been on the podium or not been in the final. She's either had a great day or a pretty ropey day. She's not had any middling days so far this year. She was second in the last 2 World Cups. So Jakob Schubert, time a real factor here. He'll have heard that beep. He has to go for it. He's close but no cigar. He's frustrated. Perhaps had he not run out of time and he just had a bit longer to set himself, he might have got that, but he will have heard the 5-second beep. He knew it was time to go. I think he's left his towel on the stage actually. Meichi just moves it out the way and gets ready for his go. And we're now on to the final climbers. Shauna Coxsey is out, as is Kokoro Fuji. Kokoro, extraordinary day yesterday, flashed all 5 boulders in the qualifying. Can't get much better than that. There's Shauna as well. So Kokoro won here in Mumbai last year. He certainly looked the best climber yesterday. He seems to get on very well in India. Meanwhile, Shauna, in the overall standings, according to the somewhat complicated maths, needs 9th place here to clinch his 2nd successive overall title.
Kokoro just cruised the men's first problem.
He did cruise it, yeah. Extraordinary. Less than a minute, same as Jongwon Chom.
Felt like a warm-up problem for him.
Yeah, I was just saying Shauna needs 9th here, so she doesn't even need to make the final, and she will clinch the overall title for the 2nd successive year. It's one thing to do it once, it's one thing to win a World Cup, it's one thing to win the overall, but when you win it twice, you really are in a very elite category. Shauna has that opportunity today. This morning, in fact, she doesn't need to wait until this evening's final. She can clinch it in the semi. Yanya Gambra, her closest rival in the overall standings, didn't make the trip to India. Interesting, actually, I was talking to Shauna yesterday and she said she doesn't think that much about the overall. Whether that was just a bit of gamesmanship or a bit of psychology, I don't know. But she said she just takes each event as it comes.
But I think that's... If you don't think about the overall, you can relax and not stress out and perform. You can just focus on the performance.
It's absolutely the right thing to do. It's just easier said than done. But she seems to have that psychology where she can just focus on one boulder, one attempt at a time, and it's served her extremely well.
And she's very cool and calm about her climbing and everything.
Gets a good cheer from the crowd, and once again that method where she's able to face the judges, a bit like Meika Taki, get her top confirmed. Meanwhile, Meichi not getting men's 4 again. So we really thought that once climbers got a good hand on that top hole that they'd finish the boulder. It's not proving to be the case. It's obviously not quite as good when you're coming at it dynamically, that boulder. That hole, sorry. Yes, Shauna, we were just talking about, already disappeared back in. She just seems to be the master of that mindset of one boulder, one attempt, one move at a time.
The Zen approach.
Yeah, well, we'll see. If she finishes 9th or better today, we'll judge her reaction. But I know that she's very keen on the process. And that involves not thinking too far ahead. Meanwhile, Yoshiyuki Ogata is on men's 3. Needs a result here. 1 top so far. That was on the first boulder. He's in 13th place. He got that on his 4th attempt. So just to let you know, some of the climbers who now can't make the final because they've already finished their rotation, are outside the top 6. I'll tell you in just a second. We'll keep an eye on Mechi. Oh, we're about to see second top of men's 4.
Oh,
you won't get much
again.
closer than that.
This is the kind of hole that demands respect. You have to respect the hole no matter how big or how positive it looks.
Yeah, Mechi currently outside the top 6. 6 climbers go through to this evening's final. He's not in that group as it stands. Needs a top, and how? He's just about to run you through some of the climbers that can't make the final because they've finished and they're already outside the top 6. Golem Ali Baratsada in the men's. David Fernenberg. Mechi Narasaki, unless he gets this. Let's keep an eye on him. Currently in 11th place. And he will not get it, so he will not be in the final, won't follow up his second place in Vale. Vadim Timonov will not be in the final, nor Anzi Pehak, Simon Unger, Tsukuru Hori, Gregor Vazonik, and Will Riddell of Great Britain. They've all finished their rotation and can't move into the top 6. Jan Hoyer, meanwhile.
On his last problem.
Yes, no top for him so far. You'll need a flash of this bowler to get into the provisional top 6. But even if he manages that, it almost certainly won't be enough for him. No finals in 2017 for Jan. Meanwhile, in the women's, Leah Crane, Julia Kruder, Michaela Tracy, unfortunately, will not be in the final. Hung Ying Lee, the same. Monaka Retschy, she won't follow up her second in 2016. Solsar Berich-Feiger, Elnaz Rakabi, who we saw topping women's 3, and Chloe Collier. They won't be in the final. They're not in the top 6 now, and they can't move up. Really getting to the business end of this semi-final here in Mumbai as the rain pours down outside. And the action heats up inside. Akia Noguchi
setting herself up.
That hold will look a lot closer for her than it did for Meiko Taki's much taller climber, Akio. Still take your time, getting her positioning absolutely right, and it pays off. Top hold, no problem. She just sways there for a second. Minimal of fuss from Akio, as I say. If she's made the final, she's made the podium this year. No 4th, 5th or 6th for her in 2017.
The women's 3 problem is the most visually appealing problem, I think, in this set.
And interestingly enough, we've not seen any tops on women's 2 still. But Shauna is next out. The statement it would be if she could get it.
Yeah.
Looked in complete control yesterday. Didn't do the 5th boulder, but as she admitted afterwards when we interviewed her, she didn't really give it everything. She knew she'd done enough by them. Possibly could have done it if she'd really needed to. Alexei Rubsov, meanwhile, how's he getting on so far? He's got 1 top, that was on the first boulder, didn't get number 2. Dimitri Sharafutdinov, his compatriot, currently on number 2. He got number 1, Dimitri. Dry smile. Competing a long time, Dimitri Sharafutdinov. First World Cup 2003. Last time we saw him on a podium was when he won in Vale in 2014. Coxsey, meanwhile, was 5th last time out in Vale and looked in equally good form yesterday in the qualifiers. There's Jan Hoyer, almost certainly can't make the final. I think he might have just been having a look at the scoreboard. It is just behind him on his left, just over his left shoulder. I think he's just having a quick look then. Probably knows that this one's a consolation prize if he does get it. So Legsy goes again. Been topped twice this men's 3 by Jakob Schubert and Jongwon Chon, who coincidentally are the top 2 as things stand.
I think this problem is the deciding problem of men's set. It's one of the tricky ones.
Yeah, it would seem to be the case. As I say, the top 2 are the only 2 who've done it at this stage. So there's 2 climbers out on the right-hand side of the stage, Katja Kadic and Dimitri Sharafutdinov. On the left-hand side of the stage, we've got 3 climbers. 30 seconds to go. Jan Hoyer setting it up, trying to be the 3rd climber to top men's 4, and he will not manage it on that attempt. And keep an eye on him. We can just about see him from our position. He's going to have another go. And Dimitri is not going to have another go on men's 2. Yeah, setting himself up. This will be his last attempt. No joy for him.
When you look at that hole from bottom, it looks so good that you can just jump and grab it and hold on to it. But that's not the case.
Kokoro Fuji looked superb yesterday, looked superb on men's 1. Won here last year. Would seem at this very early stage of the competition to be the man to beat. And we're now done with Boulder 1. Just an interesting one actually. Rei Sugimoto. He's only sitting in 3rd place with 2 tops in 7 attempts, and seemed to choose the tough ones to top. He didn't top number 3, and interestingly he didn't top number 1, which has had 12 ascents so far. So yeah, you've done enough for 3rd place, but the boulder which has had 12 people climb it, he didn't manage, so made life difficult for himself. But done enough for a 3rd place as it stands.
He seemed in control, but his foot slipped.
3rd place for him in Vale, Yoshiyuki. Meanwhile, Tomoa, number 1. Wearing number 1 after an amazing 2016 I mentioned earlier. Now here's Shauna. No one's topped this women's 2. We never like to see a boulder go untopped. If Shauna can carry on like this, I don't think we're going to today.
Wow.
Amazing from Shauna Coxsey. 3 minutes 20 left on the clock.
Wow.
Tops the boulder that no one else could manage.
I think that's a flash.
Yeah, pretty sure it is. Bring you up to date. Katharina.
And
women's 4. Tomoa on number 3. Shauna's score still waited to come through. I'm pretty sure it was a flash too. Just want to confirm. Meanwhile, Katarina, this is women's 4. She topped women's 3, flash women's 3. Yoshiyuki, meanwhile, men's 4. Can he become the 3rd person to top it? He's so close.
Same.
It looked like he got the move perfect. Hopefully we can see a replay of Shauna Coxsey on women's 2. Hadn't been topped before that.
And we have a top at men's 3.
Yes, Tomoa Narasaki. That is his first top, Tomoa. So he really needs number 4, and he needs it in not many attempts if he wants to seal his place in the final. We'll see where that moves him up to. It'll depend on the number of attempts that took. I don't think that was his first attempt, but we will confirm. Meanwhile, compatriot just struggling on men's 2, Kokoro. Yoshiyuki's got 1 minute and 15 left to get it done on men's 4. Still waiting for that score to come through for Shauna and to confirm for Tomoa. Being told 4 attempts for Tomoa on men's 3. Yes, it was. So that actually keeps him right down in 14th place. There's a lot of climbers in the men's competition with 1 top.
Nice.
And Yoshiyuki Ogata joins the 2 top club with that ascent. Again, we'll confirm the number of attempts. Yeah, there's a lot of climbers down there with 1 top. Now showing up. No, sorry, Tomoa still on 4. 4 attempts. Getting very busy here in the semi-final. Another interesting result in the men's. Golamali Baratsade of Iran. He topped the last boulder, but again, didn't top the first one. Same as Rei Sugimoto. He didn't get that first one, which 12 climbers have got. And if he got that, he'd be in a very strong position, Golamali. As it is, he's in 8th place, so he won't make the final. Could end up moving down the rankings further. Alexei Rubtsov, pressure's on him here. Didn't get number 2 or 3, he got number 1. Currently in 9th place, Alexei, you can see it. Men's scores on the bottom, those 2 at the top of your screen.
He needs to get this one.
He really does.
And in less attempts. As less as he can.
Lots of pressure. It's not seen a lot of tops at men's. Number 4, 3 so far. 2 Russians out on the stage, Alexei and Dimitri. Kadic also out. I'm just working on a bit of interesting maths for you now, actually. We think that the previous record for the number of one nationality in the final, bear in mind there are 6 male and 6 female athletes, so a total of 12 finalists. We think the previous record for one nationality was 7, set by Japan in Nanjing. And we think they might be able to go one better than that. There's still a lot of climbing to be done, but we think we'll confirm to you that we might be able to get 8 Japanese athletes into the final. We shall see. But as I say, we've got a few people fact-checking. We believe the most has ever been is 7, and that was Japan in Nanjing. Can they get 8 today? Meanwhile, keep an eye. Shauna Coxsey, where's she? She's up to 4th place. I'm pretty sure she can't be displaced from the top 9, which means that Shauna Coxsey is once again overall champion.
And she flashed the second problem, which nobody, not a single women athlete has finished it. That just shows how her level, how much she's apart.
Okay, well, our multitasking skills are about to be put to the test here. We'll keep you informed with what's going on the stage. Double check our facts regarding the potential for 8 Japanese athletes in the final, and keep an eye on Shauna Coxsey. No, she cannot be displaced out of the top 9. Shauna Coxsey, for the second year running, is the overall Boulder World Cup champion. Midway through the semi-final of the second to last event, which tells you something about her performance this year. Extraordinary from her in 2017. We will talk more about that later on, I'm sure. For now, let's just keep an eye on the action. Still plenty to go at. Alexei Rubtsov, Dimitri Sharafutdinov and Akiya Noguchi all on stage. A group of climbers to have within 10 metres of each other. So Dimitri, he got the first boulder, he didn't get the second one. We saw him wave at the judges with about 20 seconds to go on his attempt on number 2. Didn't like it at all. Now Alexei really needs this.
And he gets it.
And he gets it. Alexei Rubtsov, that would be 2 tops for him. We will confirm the number of attempts.
And he's really happy about it.
He is happy about it. So he'll now have 2 tops. So that'll put him in at least 5th. I think that'll put him in 4th. We'll confirm. He'll be at least 5th though. He's, as it stands, comfortably into the final. Yes, it does move him up to 4th. He's got 2 tops in 8 attempts. He got that on his 6th attempt, number 4. Kept fighting. You'd expect nothing less from Alexei Rubtsov. Dimitri Sharafutdinov is heading back into isolation. Akiya Noguchi pressures on a bit here. Currently in 5th place.
She's going for the bonus. She almost got it last time.
Just keeps an eye on the brushes there, slightly in a way you might have thought, but no, time's up anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to the final 4. We're only on the left-hand side of the stage. We've gone right to left as you look at the wall here today in Mumbai. Started out on the far right, on boulders 1 for the men and women, boulders 4 for the men and women, far left of the stage. So it's all happening at once here. Shauna Coxsey's back out. I wonder if she knows. She probably does. She's a pretty wily competitor. She might have snuck a look at the scoreboard. She's probably got a pretty good idea of what's gone on before. Meanwhile, Tomoa Narasaki's down in 14th place. A flash here to put him into 3rd at least.
He looks really strong.
Does look strong. Really needs this as well.
Oh.
And we've seen that a lot today. Good hand on the top hold, but no top. So Tomoa needs a top. A top in any number of attempts will see him into the final at this stage. But fewer attempts are better. It's quite congested there. Nobody's got more than 2 tops in the men's competition. Jongwon Chon leading the way. They took him 3 attempts in 2nd place. Jakob Schubert, they took him 5 attempts. 7 attempts to get them for Rei Sugimoto. 8 for Alexei Rubtsov. And 9 for Yoshiyuki Ogata. Keita Watabe is currently in 6th place, but with just the 1 top, looking vulnerable, you have to say.
And we have Shauna Coxsey here setting herself up for the jump, and she gets it comfortably.
Well, Shauna looked comfortably the best climber in yesterday's qualifiers. She's following that up again today.
In the semi-finals.
Interestingly enough, Mumbai was her worst result last year. She was 9th here. Missed the final. It was a bit of a shock. As it turned out, 9th place is the minimum she needs to claim the title in 2017. How things change. But yeah, didn't get on with the Mumbai experience at all in 2016. No such worries this year. Got here a bit earlier. I seem to remember last year she was only here for 2 nights. I think she had a pretty brutal schedule.
Also, last year it was during the summers. It was really hot.
Yeah. You see the dynamism of Tomoa Narasaki there, just launched into that top move. Really, really needs this Tomoa. And as I say, attempts could be crucial.
Yeah.
It's not in the bag just yet. Now it is. I'll let you know when his attempts
And we have
flash up.
Oh,
Kokora close on number 3. Doesn't need to rush, reach straight for his chalk bag as if he was going to jump straight back on the wall. Doesn't need to rush. 2 minutes left. Miho, last year's winner in Mumbai.
gets her third.
Tops
Well,
number
bravo.
4. She'll have 3 tops in that case. Currently in 4th. She'll definitely move up from there. The climbers ahead of her also have 3 tops, but lots of attempts. Yeah, she displaces Aya Onoe. Swaps 4th for 3rd, and Aya swaps 3rd for 4th. So Kokoro is currently sitting in 9th place. He flashed boulder number 1. Didn't top number 2. That boulder was actually only topped by Rei Sugimoto. Every boulder has been topped though. Women's 2 and men's 2 only topped once. Kokoro's got 40 seconds left. Looking solid on this attempt. 25 seconds to go. Time not a factor as long as he gets it this time. He does.
Not rushing this time.
No, not rushing. Took his time. It's a relatively good hold again that he's going for. It's just about getting yourself in the right position to be able to hold it. Petra Klingler and Dimitri Sharafutdinov find themselves alone on the stage. We're now done with the 3rd bowlers. You can see there Shauna Coxsey leading the way in the women's. Getting quite congested in the women's. Attempts absolutely crucial. Mei Kotake in 6th place with 2 tops in 5 attempts. And Leah Crane 2 tops in 6 attempts, way down in 10th. So very tight. Attempts crucial. Ditto in the men's competition. Interestingly enough, the top 6 all have 2 tops. Everyone below that has less than 2. Kora Fuji's put himself in a strong position though. So Katya needs a quick ascent of this if she wants to make the final. As I've just mentioned, attempts will be vital. Can't waste them here. Dimitri, meanwhile, he's currently on 1 top, got the first boulder on his 2nd attempt.
Come on, Dimitri, you got this, come on.
Lining it up, that last move, no.
This is one of those problems where you have to make an attempt to understand how the whole feels, and then you kind of figure it out and then go for it. And all the athletes that we've seen nobody's flashed it. Everybody went for the last hold, felt it, and then really went for it.
Yeah, the best we've seen actually was Golamali Baratsada. He got it on his 2nd go at men's 4. That's the best performance we've seen. No one else has managed it in less than 3 attempts. Tomoa Narasaki and Rei Sugimoto both got it in 3 attempts. Okay, so we've just been through the maths again regarding Team Japan's number of climbers in the final. The most for them was actually 6, not 7 as I stated earlier. It was 6 in Vale, 6 in Nanjing. And in Vale it was the first time 4 Japanese climbers of the same gender competed alongside one another in the final. So So 7 Japanese climbers in total across the 12 finalists would be special even for Japan, as we see Dimitri Sharafutdinov again close on number 4.
We have quite a crowd here in Mumbai this year, much more than what we had last year.
Yeah, it's just filling up the arena.
Yeah.
It's quite funny actually. We're driving back from the city centre in Mumbai, whenever it was, Thursday or Friday, and there's a billboard. It must be 50 metres high. It's absolutely enormous, with Monaka Retschy on it.
Yeah.
And she was kind of half pleased, half embarrassed when I told her about it. I sent her a picture of it. It's massive. It's the biggest billboard I've ever seen.
Probably the first climbing billboard ad in India.
Climbing. Everyone's, or those in the know have known for a long time there's very good climbing in India. It seems to be becoming increasingly popular. There's actually a video on Facebook. I had a chat with Franco, one of the legends of the Mumbai climbing scene. You can see that on IFSC Facebook. I had a chat with him a couple of days ago. Meanwhile, Dimitri, currently outside the top 6, and will stay outside the top 6. Interestingly, it doesn't look like he's getting closer with each attempt. First one actually looked like his best attempt. Yeah. I wonder if it's fatigue, his competition rusty. We've not seen him that much this year. Meanwhile, Katja. Currently in 16th place.
Looks comfortable there.
She does look comfortable. It's 20 seconds to go, though. She won't have time for another attempt.
That's the top.
So she needs to get it right. You can see Dimitri rushing. He's possibly rushing a bit more than he needs to. 12 seconds is plenty of time. Doesn't need to rush too much.
Almost.
So close. Katja Kadic looks happy with her day's work. Let's have a look. And the scores update. That puts her in 6th place. And with Shauna Coxsey already in the top 6, we can confirm the women's final. We can also confirm the men's final, because Kokura Fuji, the last climber out, he's also already in the top 6, so he can't displace anyone. The top 6, as they stand in both men's and women's, will stay the top 6. The order could change, the names won't. So Shauna Coxsey, Petra Klingler, Miho Nanaka, Aya Ono, Akio Noguchi and Katja Kadic will be your top 6 in the women. In the men's will be Jongwon Chong, Kokura Fuji, Jakob Schubert, Tomoa Narasaki, Rei Sugimoto and Alexei Rubtsov. Keita Watabe down there in 8th, currently leading the overall standings. We'll do the maths for that before the final. It's enough maths for one semi already. But yeah, Keita currently leading the way, got a very slender lead, 8 points in the overall standings. Shauna already in the final, already overall champion for 2017 for the 2nd year running. She came close in a couple of years where you wondered if she might manage it. She's certainly proved any doubters wrong in the past 2 years. Kokura Fuji, as I mentioned, looked comfortably the best climber yesterday. If he can top this, doesn't manage it that time, he'll be the first male climber with 3 tops in today's semi-final. It's been a tough round for the men. Lots of tops of men's 1, but other than in men's 1, not too many at all. Only 1 top on men's 2, 4 on men's 3, and 5 so far on men's 4. Shauna already guaranteed to go through in 1st place. Again, the screen is pretty much directly above the camera that we're currently looking through, so quick look to the left, you'll be able to see where they're at. And I can just see it at the corner of my eye. The score is on screen. Sometimes we have replays and all sorts on the big screen, but the score is currently up. I think Shauna was just checking it out. What a final that promises to be. Shauna Coxsey, world champion Petra Klingler, we know has got a problem with her knee, qualifies in 2nd place. Miho Nanaka, last year's winner in Mumbai, she's through. Ionoe, Kia Noguchi, 4-time overall champion, Katja Kadic, who seems to be the form climber right now. It's going to be an amazing women's final.
Kokoro having some problem with his last problem.
Again, just that last move, isn't it?
Just the last move.
Meanwhile, in the men's, Jongwon Chon won in Vale, and he's topped the semi-final here in Mumbai a fortnight later. Kokoro Fuji's already through. He'd like a top just to cement it. Jakob Schubert will be through as well. Tomoa Narasaki. Can he claim his first win of 2017? Hard to believe he hasn't won one yet. Can he do it here? Rei Sugimoto and Alexei Rubtsov. So 3 male Japanese athletes and 3 female Japanese athletes. So they equal their best of 6 finalists.
Shauna making a very delicate move here. She's having a little bit of trouble with her last problem as well. And Kokoro finishes his last problem comfortably. Shauna makes progress in her last problem. She gets the bonus.
Shauna going for the top here. This would be the clean sweep. This would be 4 tops in the semi-final this morning. She'll be back this evening. Kokoro, meanwhile, lining up on men's 4. He's already in the final. Shauna just lets him finish. So, both climbers, Kokoro and Shauna, guaranteed their place in the final. I'll bring you the confirmed results in just a second. The crowd quickly begins to disperse. That area we can see there at the front, the small area with the single row of chairs, and that crowded area behind is the coaches and officials. So there is your top 6, Shauna Coxsey, a clean sweep of the boulders, 4 tops. She'll be joined in the final by Petra Klingler, Miho Nanaka, Ionoe, Akio Noguchi and Katja Kadic once again into the final, second week running for her. Meiko Taki misses out, as does Johanna Faber, Alannah Yip and Alma Bestvata. Just run through the bottom half of the semi-final. Leah Crane, 2 tops, good day for her. Not quite enough to make the final. Ditto Julia Kruder and Michaela Tracy. Hung Ying Lee also with 2 tops, and then with 1 top we've got the Katerina Kiprianova, Monaka Retschy, Solsar, Beric Schweiger, Elnaz Rakabi and Chloe Collier with 3 bonuses. She's down in 20th place. Looking at the men's results for you in just a second. There we go. Jongwon Chon. So no one with more than 2 tops in the men's competition. Jongwon leads away though. They only required 3 attempts. Kokoro Fuji, Jakob Schubert, Tomoa Narasaki, Rei Sugimoto and Alexei Rubtsov will join him in the final. Unlucky for Yoshiyuki Ogata, 2 tops counted out of the final by number of attempts, 9 to Alexei's 8. Keita Watabe, Yene Kruder and Dimitri Sharafutdinov making up the rest of the top 10. Golomali Baratsade, David Fernenberg, Meichi Narasaki, Vadim Timonov and Ant Pehak, also with 1 top each. And then only with bonuses further down the order we've got Simon Ungi, Jan Hoyer, Takuru Hori, Gregor Vazonik and Will Riddell of Great Britain.
Any climber that's missing a pair of shoes, please come get it at the stage. Thank you.
So a great start to the day here in Mumbai. We'll be back with the finals at 5:30 p.m. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope to see you this evening.